Hey everybody, PC Warframe just got a new melee weapon called the Dark Split Sword, and it, I believe, is the first hybrid melee weapon in the game. Now, I'm going to get more into that later, but let's look at the base stats here. As you can see, it does radiation damage, so it's a status weapon. It does 80 radiation damage, it has a 20% status chance, and it has a 10% crit chance. Now, this is a heavy blade starting off. Now, if you were to put a dual sword stance on there, it would down the status chance from 20 to 15% and the crit chance from 10 to 5%. And then it takes also the base damage from 80 to 65. So keep that in mind. Now, just a disclaimer before we get into builds, I'm going to let you know right now that when I was given this weapon by DE, they put a catalyst on the weapon. So just plan for your build if you are going to copy this to have a catalyst on the weapon. But with that said, let's get into it. Now, I have a tempo royale for my stance mod because I personally don't really enjoy the cleaving whirlwind. It kind of gets me dizzy, and I don't know how my player doesn't get dizzy using it. Now, I'm pretty sure he can get dizzy using it if you spam it way too much. But so I went with tempo royale, and then I have molten impact, shocking touch, volcanic edge, voltaic strike, spoiled strike, and pressure point to help boost my radiation damage. Now that took it from 80 radiation to 1024 radiation, and it also boosted my status chance from 20% to 44%. So that's pretty good. My attack speed is now from 1 to 1.10. I put Fury on here because Spoiled Strike reduces speed, so I wanted to make sure I recovered it and some. And then I also have Reach on there so I can make sure with every swing I hit as many people as possible. Now, as you can see with my dual swords build, not much has changed here. I still have Molten Impact, Shocking Touch, Volcanic Edge, Voltaic Strike, Spoiled Strike, and Pressure Point, all boosting the radiation damage. Now, since it's a dual sword now, it's going to drop my base damage to 832 instead of 1024, and it's going to also lower my status chance from 44% to 33%. So keep that in mind. Also, the crit chance is down to 5%, like I said earlier. I also have Fury on this again to just kind of boost the speed up a bit from the Spoiled Strike, bringing down the attack speed. And then I also have Smite Grenier on it as well. Now, the reason why I have Smite Grenier on here is because of the alloy armor certain Grenier enemies have, like the Bombards, the Napalms, Bailiffs, things like that. Now, there's also bosses like Captain Vor and Lieutenant-Let Krill and Killa the Thame who also have alloy armor, and radiation is really good against that. Now, radiation can have a negative effect towards Corpus, so I wouldn't recommend using it against shielded Corpus very often because it can oftentimes boost them rather than harm them. So keep that in mind. This weapon, it may not be the best weapon out there, but it is an interesting weapon, and I think it's pretty cool that they brought out a hybrid weapon like this. Unfortunately, you cannot swap between heavy blade and dual swords in the mission. That would have been cool if you could have used select fire to switch it up and do that, but unfortunately you're not able to do so. Now, I'm sorry if this video is a little bit rushed. I had little time to do it because honestly I don't know if any of you have it already or got it when it first came out, but there's a huge issue with leveling the weapon in the beginning. There's a glitch in the game to where when you were trying to level it, it would not get any affinity put towards it. Everything else could be leveled except this weapon right here. So this weapon kept me up pretty late trying to get this all set up, and this video made to show you guys my build on it and what I think of it. Now, it's not an in-game weapon by any means in my opinion. It's not a war, it's not a whatever you want to replace it with. It's definitely a good kind of intermediate weapon in my opinion, but it's not an in-game weapon because there's just too many drawbacks to it. Well, I think that does it for this episode. I'm not sure which one I prefer better, the heavy blade or the dual swords. Honestly, the dual swords actually feel pretty good on this weapon. This is probably going to be the first dual sword weapon that I actually like. So that's a first. But, you know, I don't know. I could go either way with this one. Let me know which one you liked better. And if you have a tweak or a change you would do to my build, or have your own build that you want to put in the comments below, feel free to. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, guys, have a good one.